What's up? What's up, my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
What's up? Good to see you, man.
You too, my bro.
Yeah.
Long time no see.
Welcome to the party.
Hey, party on, man.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Looking good?
What'd you bring?
Oh, no, it's my son's little RSX, but it's my son right there.
What's up? Good to meet
Nice
you.
to
Good to
meet you
meet you.
This is my girlfriend Lexi.
Hey, what's up? Good to meet
Puppy
you.
Chanel.
What's up, Chanel?
Yeah.
Show me what you brought. What'd you bring?
No, it's just my guy.
I've been hearing about this RSX.
It's just a simple
Still need a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Needs some work, but
It's the first official little car for me.
Nice.
the original,
Some RPF ones on there.
the original, bumper.
Little
for lower
original
cars.
bumper falling off.
That's it, man. Little zip tie won't fix.
Just like Dad, huh?
Yeah, boy.
Now you're gonna paint yellow.
Right?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, interior's clean.
You got the red interior. Whoa, all type art out. Damn.
Pretty clean, man. Like it have it.
Look at this guy's smile right here.
I know, all cheese.
Look at that, it's all cheesing out, hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed my Honda shirt, huh?
Honda.
You bought the spoon shirt.
That's it, man. Gotta represent it. Gotta represent the B16, boy.
Oh, D-series for my heart right there.
That's it, man. That's where it all started.
That's where it all started.
This thing's sick, man.
Sick, thank you.
Hey,
I'll give you guys a tour.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
I mean, it's the whole feeling about just raw horsepower under your foot. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
A little closer to you, tends to drift off.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Man, you got that deep. You got that deep kind of voice. You got that voice I'd call up at 2 o'clock if I had struck out at the club.
Nice.
Be like, "What's up?
Hey, what's up, baby?
Hey, baby." What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Burning Tires. It is a bust cast. I am your host, Greg Leone, and today I'm honored to have LJ Garcia. LJ Garcia is a father and your grandfather yet?
Not yet.
Are you close?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
No.
All right. Well, he's a father, and he's an incredible human, and has built some of the most I'd say prolific show cars. In fact, the prolific show car. Anyone talks about show cars in the 90s and early 2000s, it's essentially your yellow EK.
EK.
Yeah. And the Fields wide body EK.
Yep.
And so
That's the one.
yeah, so I'm pleased to sit down with you and tell your story of the rise of the sport compact. I know we started out this series with a lot about street racing. We've been talking about street racing. We've been talking about that side of it, street racing, sport compact, drag racing. But then also we really haven't touched on the show scene.
Well, the funny part is I actually started in the street racing.
Yeah.
With Gary Kubo and them being on the street, Ron, even Jason Whitfield.
Yeah.
At the time where we were both from, he was from Ontario. No, not Ontario, sorry. Here in Montclair area.
Montclair, yeah.
And I was in Rancho.
Right.
But we actually, no one really knows, we actually raced at the Ontario street races.
Against Jason?
Jason had his turbocharged, he had his hatchback to start with before he even had his CRX.
Before the CRX, yeah.
Because I ended up crashing that one or something happened with that one.
Right.
But I raced him with my, I had an EG back then.
Okay.
But it was on nitrous.
Right.
So it was turbo versus nitrous. Then we both were 1.5.
Yeah.
Because mine was a DX model.
Who won?
You know what? I don't even remember.
Right?
I don't even remember. I don't really care. But we were out there. That was our, street racing. That's where everything started, basically. Even on my EG, one of the first two also to put in a B16.
Right.
On an EG.
Yeah. When was this? What year was this?
Oh shoot, man! It was 95, 94, 95.
Yeah.
It's the same time around when Charles from Wicked,
Yeah.
Dr. Charles was doing it at I believe at times it's at no, it's not Pit Crew.
Pit
No,
Crew.
It is Pit Crew.
Pit Crew, yeah.
He was there and he was doing it, and I called him a few times. Hey, how do you do this? And
Right.
so we kind of figured things out. I bought my B16 with a LSD motor in it and everything.
From K1 and Nobby?
No, it's actually some shop I found in Carson or some Carson area.
Right.
You know, they have all the motor, and then I found this one motor on the corner. I was just looking. I blew my motor
Right.
on trying out NOS the
Wait,
first time.
was it that one spot that had the windows that you could see when you drive by?
I think that's what
it looked like it was a showroom
it's
before.
a showroom.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But it's just you open it, it's just full of motors.
Man, what was the name of that place?
I don't even remember.
I used to buy all my motors from there. I
It
have
was a
receipts
long
from
time
back
ago.
in the
Yeah.
day. $600. Motor,
Yeah,
transmission, ECU.
but that time, yeah, I was messing out with nitrous
Yeah.
at the time on the DX, and I blew it.
Right.
I put, I tried to push 80 shot of nitrous in it,
Yeah.
direct port, and I was like, okay, it wasn't happening. So I was looking for a motor, just a replacement DX motor, and I saw this dual overhead, VTEC P16A, and I was
Right.
like, it's a Japanese motor. And I said, hey, you guys selling this? Yeah, we can't sell this because it goes on a Del Sol, but at the time Del Sols are so new.
Yeah, and they weren't breaking or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they came by. So he sold it for, I think it's like $700 with transmission,
Yeah.
axles, wiring harness, computer, everything.
Right.
So I say, I try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
Right.
So that's when I started, putting B16. That's when I was still going to, LACR.
Yeah.
I started off with the drag racing.
Battle of the Imports. Shout out to Frank Choi.
Yeah, I messed with the NOS.
Yeah.
And then put in a turbo with a 50-shot NOS off the jump, and for the lag, and messed with it a lot. And I got it down to about 12.8 street driven, 14-inch slicks.
That's
at the
pretty
time.
good. Yeah.
It's not bad at the time.
Fast
I mean,
at the time.
you gotta remember, Supras were doing 13.2, 13.3 stock.
Right.
So I was doing 12.8. So I was like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I live in Rancho. All the Chevy guys, American car guys there, I would
Smoke them.
Smoke them.
Yeah.
They'll take me off the jump, but once that's
Hit the
second
squeeze.
gear.
Yeah. Once you hook.
Yep, and the second
over.
year, you're gone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's where I started off at,
Yeah.
racing.
Right.
And what happened is the sport got too expensive for me.
Okay.
I didn't have, sponsors to give me
Right.
axles and all the parts. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
too
all-
much
all
for me to maintain, because I wasn't, really making so much money,
Right.
at the time. So I decided, like, why don't I go try, do a show car.
Right.
You just build it, you display it, and you don't break anything.
Right.
And then the
Were
thing
you
is,
going to shows? You're obviously going to shows, right?
I was going to, at the time it's Ken Miyoshi's
Import show off. Yeah. Yep.
So he was the one, first. I brought my Civic hatchback there a few times, but nothing,
Right.
coming out of it. But then it was when I bought an EK.
Yeah.
I bought a brand used EK.
Brand new.
It was-
Brand used. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a green one,
Right.
which, if you notice, Max Power. Max
Max
Boost.
Speed, Max Boost. Yeah.
When they did their story, they
Yeah.
had a green one.
And that was
That's
your car.
That's where they based it off of.
What?
So I mean, they mentioned on their Instagram, stuff too. But
I remember that was that cartoon strip, right?
yes,
Yeah.
that's what they
Max
had in
Boost.
the import tuner.
Import tuner. Yeah.
Yeah, on their cartoon layouts and stuff like that. So I ended up hooking up with someone, Han Motoring. I think it was Han or
Yeah. Han
they did body
Motoring
kit.
in Alhambra.
Alhambra.
Yeah.
and
They did motor stuff too.
motor stuff and body kits and stuff.
Right.
And so we kind of did some kind with a guy named George also. He
Okay.
was big in the industry also, but in the body kits,
Right.
reproducing body kits and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So at the time, Phil's won't sell you the kit, to go outside the country because he's gonna copy it. But for
Right.
some reason, he was able to get it, and we kind of made a deal. Okay, bring me this kit. I want it. It's one of a kind.
Yeah.
And I need it.
Right.
So I deal with Han and stuff like that. When I get it, they could make the first molds off of it.
Right.
But it has to wait till I get my first cover of the magazine out first before they could release the mold
Right. Okay.
to the general public.
Oh, right.
So that no one, while I'm building mine, I want someone to come with a mold of it, and then they get out in the.
It's funny. I think even back then it was so. It wasn't as prevalent, but people were starting to copy. Those are like the first copies. Was like body
At the
kits.
time, there's no one really come. They're all about the original stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and not really crazy.
Like
body
Wings
kits.
West was knocking off Mugen stuff. you know what I mean? Like, that
So
was
like simple kits,
Yeah.
And then this is the first time, they actually saw, a wide body kit, and a nice fitted rims
That
on
was
it.
not a simple kit.
Yeah, well,
How many pieces was that?
it was a 9-piece.
Yeah.
Front bumper, 2 front fenders, 2 side skirts, 2 rear fenders, the wing, the rear bumper.
Right.
So, and then at the time I was got sponsored by Daz Motorsports.
Yeah.
Joey.
Yep.
They did a custom fitment. They took apart like 16 wheels and this center and this backing and this lip to get it right on the.
Really,
fender.
that's how they did that.
Yeah, no. Back then, there was no one.
There was
remember,
no one
no
doing-
fitment. It's whatever
Yeah.
you buy in the street is what you get.
Yeah, right.
You know, they don't have this fitment now. Oh, 0 offset, 30 offset. And
Right.
No one really.
Because they weren't
messed with that.
spacered out.
No,
either.
no. This was custom made just for that rib. And the first one, actually, if no one really noticed it, the first one that came out was a sample piece,
Right.
which was at 18-inch wheels. But
Okay.
the final one was actually a 19-inch wheels.
Yeah.
And if you notice on the chute, it's actually big, fat lip right on the fender. And, that's when no one's messing with fitment or anything.
Nobody was.
Nobody
yeah.
was. So
Right.
we basically brought the car there
Yeah.
with, air ride system, put it in. We left it there for, I think, a week. They
Right.
messed with the wheels and got me the perfect rims fitment for the front and the rear.
I'm trying to remember when you brought that out. Was it Pomona?
No, the first time it was brought out is San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah.
Hot Import Nights.
Okay.
And it was, and actually, first time it came out, it won Best Honda.
I remember. That was.
It was still blue.
Okay. What year was that? That was.
Oh shoot! I would say it was in the late 90s.
99?
99, something like that.
99,
98.
Yeah.
It might be 98 because I think my first cover for Import Tuner was a 99.
Yeah.
So in my 97, I had an Import Tuner cover for my Civic hatchback,
Okay.
the EG.
Right.
I had the blue EG before.
Yep.
So that was on Super Street, and then I think it was 90. I think it was 99. Around that area.
Yeah.
99 was it came out of Import Tuner.
Right.
And then it came out in Super Street when it became yellow.
Yeah, I remember the Super Street cover was
Yeah,
yellow.
it was yellow. So
And who was leaning on that car? What was the girl? Was it Natasha or
well, for Import Tuner, that was oh man, what's her name?
Francine D. Yeah, that's right.
Was the one on that, and that was the second cover.
Yeah.
That was the second issue that they came up with.
Right.
Super Street, mine was supposed to be the first cover for Super Street on my EG.
Okay.
That was when Matt Pearson was heading the Super Street. I actually met him in Arizona.
Right.
No, it was some truck event because he was shooting trucks before.
Right.
And then he ended up switching over to head up Super Street.
Okay.
And he saw my car and was like, hey, let me shoot your car. He actually shot it there. But then I said, you know what? I don't want that. I want,
Right.
when it's done.
Yeah.
Let's shoot it when it's done, when it had a turbo and all that stuff. So if you see my cover and you read it, the entrance is you're looking at the first car we ever shot for Super Street.
Oh, right.
Yes.
But it wasn't Super Street. It was
No, it wasn't. Someone, they shot a first one because my car wasn't ready, but they actually shot my car before they even shot the first car.
Oh, wow.
When beforehand.
right.
Because I told them, should we release this photo? I said, no. I want to do a proper shoot where I have everything, set up and everything.
Right.
So mine ended up becoming the second issue.
Okay.
But he did put there.
He put that this was the first car shot for
for Super Street.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's
It's been
cool.
a long journey.
It's been a long journey, and then that car did so much. That car went everywhere.
Oh yeah, no, it went. It was shipped to Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
And that's how I met my wife.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's one of the thing that it was sent there. I met Tony from Tony's Toys, which is the biggest shop in Cayman Islands.
Right.
Talk to me, hey, wagwan, brethren,
Yeah.
Say, you want to bring your car to, Cayman Islands, this and this and that. I thought it was just like, you meet so many people in SEMA that you know who's what.
Right.
You get the card and you don't really look at it. It's like a, trading cards.
Yeah,
when you get back to the hotel or after the event, then you go to the thing. You try to kind of
just big old stack of the
cards. You don't know who's who, but
I try and put notes down.
Yeah, no, I wasn't that. Yeah, you just kind of like, cool, man, bro.
We're kids, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, and then he ended up calling me, and then ended up going to shipping that car to Cayman Islands.
Right.
Yeah, and then coming back here, but it traveled, every main city in the U.S. the car's been.
Yeah.
Well, all the hot import night tours.
Right.
It was on all of them, so
Yeah.
it was at every city, and people hated that because they see my car and say, "Oh shoot, LJ's car is here, man."
How are you supposed to compete with that?
Yeah, and that's why Hot Import Nights ended up doing coming up with the elite class.
right.
If no one knows, they have the so
Regular.
basically the elite class. If you get 3 best of shows,
Then you had the peasants, and then you had the elite class.
yeah. So you
right?
have the regular one. What happened is every time I went to the shows,
You won.
Not to brag, sorry, but it's just
It's just it's a history now.
but
It's
it
not
is,
bragging. It's
yeah.
history. Yeah, you won.
Yeah, it goes there. It'll win best of show,
right.
best Honda, best two-door, whatever.
Right.
And so every time it goes, and I did the tour, so the car is there, so it'll win best of show. So I think it was 7, 8 consecutive shows.
Where did you
whatever.
put all those trophies? Because those aren't small trophies.
It was, if you remember, the car was at Peterson Museum.
yeah. I remember that.
Actually, it was the trophies was displayed with the
Right.
car.
You couldn't see the car because the trophies.
Yeah, there was
You just
a bunch of 6.
You had to
if
get on a
remember
ladder to see the
Yeah, because remember, Hot Import Nights always came up with them 6, 7 foot trophies.
No, they were the biggest trophies in the world. Yeah, as well.
But yeah, I had a bunch of them. I mean, and to this day, I don't know what happened to him. After I took my car from Peterson Museum, I think I was there for about a year or so.
Right.
I don't even know where I put it. I'm getting old. I don't remember
You don't remember where you put the trophies?
the trophies. It just kind of vanished,
Disappeared?
man. I don't know what I did with them.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, but there was like 70, 80 of them. It was crazy.
So I mean, that's something I talk about too. Is like all the history from that era is gone.
It is.
Like, how many pictures do you have from
what?
that era?
Very limited.
Right.
It's whatever people are posting. Because personally, you remember back then, you don't really take a picture of your own car.
Right.
It wasn't a thing back then
We
because
don't
we didn't
have
have blogging. We didn't
have
have
Cameras in our pocket.
Yeah, you don't have, let me video this and then upload it to my
Right.
my page or my YouTube channel. We didn't have none of that. Everything was still on still photos
Right.
or DVDs.
Right.
That's how you get the videos out.
So
So
what's funny is I would think about it. I think we thought about it in a way that was like, we're gonna build the best car possible
Mhm.
and hope it gets recognition by the magazines.
exactly.
That's the only thing that we
That's-
thought about.
That was your main goal, was how do I get into
How do
the
I get
magazine, my
into a
spread in the
magazine?
front
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
And what's the formula to get into
What's
the
the
front
formula
cover?
to get a front cover?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's all we thought
So
about.
that's it. We didn't talk about because that was basically that's the biggest accomplishment you could have,
Right.
because once you're in the front cover magazine, every car guy is gonna be looking at this
Right.
magazine, and people are gonna know my car.
People are gonna know your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like, shoot, if I get 2 million, everybody,
If I get 2 million
Followers,
followers,
and
you
I'm
know
gonna
what I
get-
mean? Like,
now
I'm gonna
that's
be
the thing.
rich. Yeah.
Exactly. So now that's the thing. But back then, we didn't think about that. We
Yeah.
thought about publication.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why the generation is so different now.
So different. Yeah.
You could have things instantly online.
Yeah.
Everything you want to do to a car is online.
Yeah. Right.
We don't have that.
Imagine
what I'm
just
saying?
think about that.
Yeah,
Like just how easy it is.
It is. I mean, it's so easy for guys to build cars nowadays
Yeah.
because everything's on the market.
Right. But no one does.
No,
That's the weird part.
exactly.
There's only a few people building really crazy stuff.
Exactly.
But maybe that's it. Maybe that's why, because it's all available. So it's like too easy.
Yeah.
They think it's too easy.
Yeah.
It's still
but,
not easy,
I mean,
man.
yeah, I catch myself, like, wait, how do I do this, man? Google search, but it's
Yeah.
it's there now. It's available. When we were, doing our cars, they didn't have Iceman and engine, and we go
Right.
Home Depot and get some pipes.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stealing your mom's stockings to cover up to cover it up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that brings it back.
Yeah.
No filter, just a
It's-
pantyhose.
yeah,
And
you
a-
do your
yeah.
little elbow, the black
clamp,
coupling
a
for
little clamp
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
that's it. And then you put your mom's stocking
Because
on the end.
it
put
made more
up.
power.
Exactly. It's the sound, I don't know about power, but it's the sound. That
The
the sucking
vwah.
sound. Yeah.
You gotta hit that vwah.
You lower your car, you go to a muffler shop and have them, torch it, and then
Torch it or cut
you-
the springs.
Yeah, well, back then, when I had my Civic, when there was not really much,
Yeah.
suspension available for it. I went to probably everybody knows Valley Muffler.
Oh yeah,
Back then.
Mike was it? No,
No, it's
no Valley Muffler. What
it
was
was
the?
DS.
There was Valley Muffler and Mike's Muffler.
Mike's Muffler. This
Yeah.
one's Valley.
Yeah.
Valley Muffler.
I went to Mike's Muffler.
Oh, I went to Valley Muffler.
Oh man,
Yeah.
rivals.
Yeah, because that's where they have like while you wait, they had the strip club down the street.
Oh, that
Just
makes
playing.
sense. But you're not.
No, it's like, but anyway, so no, back then it's like, I bought my car, my EG, right off the lot. I think 2-3 days later, I go Valley Muffler. I say, I want to lower this thing. They put it on the ramp. They're underneath there. They go and torch the springs.
Yeah.
And then they tell you, let me know when the right height is.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, now they come in with a spray bottle and cool off the spring, and that's where it sits, man.
That's awesome.
And then you do the 4 corners, and your car slammed.
Yeah.
And then you throw on a little ultra flow.
Ultra flow, and you're good.
You're to the import scene at
Yeah,
that
you're
point.
in the scene. But
Yeah.
that was what's funny is, I mean, that was a big deal,
Yeah,
right? Like you told all your friends, like, yo, I got appointment to Valley Muffler or Mike's Muffler.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go do my exhaust.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you had your light speed strut bar,
Oof.
you,
Right.
new
Or
speed
strut bar.
Sorry, new speed strut bar.
Yeah.
The black with the yellow sticker.
With the yellow sticker.
Oh, they pop your hood. You're rocking.
You're
man.
rocking, yeah. Some of those blue suspension technique
Exactly.
sway bars,
That's it. I mean,
Yeah,
that time
yeah.
those are the only thing like the first ones
Right.
that like made stuff for EGs and stuff.
Right. I had the DA. I had that black DA back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had
Yeah.
nitrous, lots of nitrous. But
Okay.
I remember I bought a Stromung exhaust.
Stromung, yeah.
Remember
was
that?
like, oh yeah.
That
They
was
were
the baller,
expensive, too.
like, I
That's the
feel like-
baller. If you
yeah.
had Stromung, you're
People
balling,
like,
man.
damn, bro, you got Stromung.
And they had that distinct like sound. It's
The
just
really-
nice.
it's a
It doesn't
deeper-
That,
it's a-
listen that ripping like
No,
it's like
it's a deeper sound.
whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, had the two
that-
two muffler
It sounds
things.
expensive.
Sounds expensive. Yeah.
expensive. It's an Irvine car.
It's
know?
an Irvine car.
right?
Getting pulled
Everybody-
over every 10 feet.
Yeah, everybody that had nice car was living in Irvine.
Right. That's true. I had a lot of friends in Irvine.
Yeah, with the DA slammed, with nice wheels. So it's never
Yeah.
SSR wheels. They all come out of Irvine.
I never had SSR. I had Borbit Type C's, man.
Yeah.
Big old heavy wheel.
And then a lot of the, ghetto ones are, from Rancho,
Yeah.
Baldwin Park.
Yeah. A lot of my friends were from
West
Rancho and
Covina,
Baldwin Park,
you
too.
know what I'm saying?
My real racer friends were from Rancho and Baldwin Park.
Yeah.
My pretty car friends were from Irvine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the way it went. But,
Not funny, yeah.
industry's definitely been crazy. I mean, it's been good to me.
Yeah, no, totally.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I was working at, a couple of, I worked at Audubon,
Yeah.
car audio company.
All right, so before all of that,
Yes.
there was a little place
Mm-hmm.
called Speed Trends Racing,
Yes.
right? And that's what started it all, right?
For the most part, on the racing side of it, yeah. I was working there as a mechanic,
Right.
in the back.
I think that's where I met you.
Yes.
Right, Cindy? Was it Cindy?
Cindy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would come in there because it was just a cool place to come into.
To hang out. They had a little back section with the parts and things
Yeah.
and all that good stuff. They brought in, some Spoon Sport,
Yeah.
a lot of Spoon products at the time when no one really
Right.
knew what Spoon was.
And it was the only place of its kind, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because it was a
Car dealership.
performance car dealership.
Car dealership. So basically, the whole thing was you could finance the car
Right.
lowered with rims.
Right.
So it's already fixed up and
Yeah.
you finance everything one time, you drive out there, you had a cool car.
And it was like the first of its kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, everybody would come there and buy, we focus on Hondas,
Right.
obviously, Honda Accord, Civics, and
Right.
all that good stuff. And we put in some 16-inch wheels, some lowering springs. And,
Yeah. Send it out the door.
and they're good.
Yeah.
They're chilling. And then they could come back and buy more stuff in the shop. Then they
Right.
put an intake and exhaust and whatnot. So,
And so Speed Trends Racing is STR. So so many people don't know that.
yeah.
You see stuff that's STR and it's that classic 90s era. Some of the people doing these era correct builds are really hunting for these STR parts, but
Yep.
it's Speed Trends Racing is what it stands
Yeah.
for.
Well, it was just Speed Trends.
Oh, Speed Trends.
And then once they start doing their own parts,
Right.
it became Speed Trends Racing, and that's where SCR came out.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, it was Vince and I,
Yeah.
Vinciaga.
Yes.
He was my, he would come to the shop, and his dad owned a CNC machine shop.
Yep.
Which they did a lot of the aerospace stuff,
Right.
parts and all that good stuff. So he would work there part-time doing
Yeah.
stuff. And
And that shop became Golden Eagle.
yes, for
Yes.
their block sleeves
Yeah.
and block guards and all that stuff.
Yes.
But before that, me and Vince were just kind of messing around with shift knobs and,
Yeah.
hey, make me a custom shift knob, man. This and this
Yeah.
and that, make this, make that. And then, we hung out around a lot together.
Right.
Like I said, the in and out hangout, Papa Grand.
Yep.
That's, where Lisa and a lot of the guys would be hanging out
Right.
on Friday night, Saturday night, and just, just trying to shoot the shit, whatever,
Right.
about cars. And Vince and started, why don't we start making some parts,
Yeah.
like shift knobs. And so I talked to Freddie.
Yeah.
He's the owner of Speedrun at the time.
Yep.
And say, yo, why don't you come up? The one thing, actually, this is one thing I know I did,
Okay.
and I came up with,
Right.
and Vince could attest to it,
Right.
is the cam seal.
The cam seal.
That's the first thing that Speedrun's basically like. That's what STR came out with, like, more, because what's the main problem of B16 or the overhead cam? They always leak
They leak. Yeah.
from the black cam seal.
Yeah.
Always
Because it gets
leak.
old and it shrinks and
And it gets hard. And so
Yeah.
me and Vince, I said, hey, why don't we come up, because, I was a mechanic. That's what the first
Yeah.
thing I have to change. Every time I get a door overhead cam in the shop,
It's
is
cam seal.
oil seal.
Yeah.
I have to change the cam seal out.
Right.
I said, Vince, let's come up with this thing. And then we start messing with it and say, you know what? Why don't you put 2 O-rings
Right.
on it, and you should solve the problem.
Right.
We tried flat ones, and then design it, and then we tried it out, and
Right.
everything started working.
Right.
So that's where
That was
pretty
the
much-
first STR part. Was that
I
cam
think
seal.
that's from my recollection.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but my recollection, that was the first parts that we came up with, and we sold a bunch of that thing
right.
because everybody didn't have it, and then APC copied it, and everything went to shit. But
I mean, but this is
besides the
people don't
point.
realize this is
Yeah.
before Skunk 2.
That's everything.
This is
This
before any billet
any-
parts. Anyone's doing billet
was made.
parts.
Yep.
Like even was AEM even doing stuff?
No, they
you
were
guys were
just-
doing the
they were-
first
they were
cam
doing-
gears too.
Yeah, cam gears, and
Yeah.
definitely the first intake.
I remember the
manifold.
first AEM cam gear was a factory
Factory,
cam
yep.
gear
And
cut
they just
out,
cut
and
out.
it had a flat piece of aluminum that was machined for
Exactly.
bolts. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cam seal,
So
the
you're-
cam gears came
Yeah.
out. Fuel rail.
Yeah.
Those are the first few ones that we
Right.
kind of came up with, and then our main thing was the intake manifold.
Right.
Because we were also working with someone locally from Glendora area. That he was a American race,
Right.
top fuel kind of guy.
Yeah.
So, we were making intake manifolds with a pop-off valve, so that
Yeah.
the motor don't.
Yeah.
So
really nice
all that
stuff.
stuff. Yeah. So the intake manifold was one of the things that.
I still have one of those intake manifolds.
Oh, really?
It's from I think I'm missing a runner. It's unassembled.
Oh,
I ended up
okay.
with it, and it's one of the unassembled. It's finished assembled.
You have the runner.
The runners?
The runners and the.
I'm missing
the
one
canister.
runner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the first few ones were basically they were all welded on and
Yeah,
all that
right.
good stuff, and in the end it was 3 pieces that you put
Three
well,
pieces, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. The
Yeah.
runners and then
Yep.
the flange.
Yeah,
and then
that's one of the ones I
yeah.
have. Yeah.
So, but the first ones were just one piece. They make them and
Yeah.
But-
Custom fabricated.
yeah.
kinda,
I mean that's one of the top. I think one of the key parts, performance part, why Ron's car hit the 10s.
Yeah.
They always had problem with enough air,
Yeah.
and I think that intake manifold was
Was the key.
the key.
Because there wasn't, you couldn't get an intake manifold.
No,
It was
no
just
one
you're
made them.
stuck with what you got.
Exactly. You try to
Right.
pour them out as big as you can, but you could only do so much with
What about Kenny?
Kenny
What about
Tran.
Kenny Tran, huh?
Yes,
He was somehow a part of STR, right?
he became a part of it because what happened was, he was in contact with us, Ron, and all that about trying to get into the tents at the time.
Right.
And, he just say, I can't get into the tents. I need to get in tents. So basically told him, it's like, hey, why don't you order some parts from us, become a distributor
Right.
out in Texas
Yep.
for STR, and put on the intake manifold. Try it out, and then come back to us.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I think a week or two later, he went out, put on the intake manifold. First one, he hit a 10.8.
Wow, yeah.
And followed it up with a 10.8, and then he called and said, "Hey, hit 10.
It works.
I said, it works." And
Yeah.
so he became a believer of the intake manifold and and stuff like that. So it's it's one of those things that when you have a product that works,
right?
People want it.
Yeah.
So and then everybody else, how that goes. Everyone want to copy it.
Everybody want to copy it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
STR was one of my early sponsors.
Yep.
So you guys sponsored me pretty early on.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's even before the CRX, or maybe the CRX had STR on it.
Yeah, it was soon after.
Yeah.
We opened up. It was being ran at Speed Trends, and then we ended up opening an office, and that's when
No, I think I came into Speed Trends, talked to Freddie.
Yeah, that's when it started.
Was Scott there then too?
Scott
Miller, or was that later?
That's later.
Okay, I know Freddie was there. I remember coming in talking to Freddie because I used to hang out there and build stuff. And I was street racing, and then I just remember. I remember getting. Because I picked it up from Speed Trends. Yeah. Like all the big gears, blister packs of all this stuff.
I packed it. I did that on my own. That's when that's when I came out of becoming a mechanic and went into the SCR, our own shop, and we packaged everything ourselves.
I remember that, man. It was the coolest thing because you have all these billet parts. And there were only, you could pick your color.
Yep.
I picked all blue.
We made a dress up kit.
Yeah, the dress up kit.
Reservoir, the radiator cap.
Yeah, I still have some of that. I have some of that left. And it's it is prized possession, man. That stuff is just
this is when, Vince and just collaborated on what else can we make kind of thing. Vince was the mastermind of how are we going to make things work.
Right.
So he and so it becomes that he's now, he became a good motor builder, and he has,
went on, now he's doing ALMS stuff for GM.
Exactly. So that's where he started from,
I hit him up because I wanted to sit down with him when he came out for ALMS, but he didn't come out this year. He didn't come out. I was like, no.
Yeah. Vince is one of those, we were young, wild, and free at the time.
Wild and free, man.
We just wanted to race, and he had a little Civic Coupe.
Yeah.
I think he had a Civic Coupe. I believe it was a Civic Coupe, a white one. I want to say it was
a white one. I think it was a coupe, yeah.
It was a coupe for sure. I know it was a coupe, but we based our stuff on my car and his car. Yeah. It had the EG with the B16.
I stayed with STR all the way through. So when it was Scott and Freddie, when they were in Corona, I was with them in there. We did a tour to Sundance for
I parted ways with them at that time.
Yeah, and then I stayed with them all the way through. Then it got picked up by BDL. And I stayed with them through BDL, and I did a bunch of show stuff and car, TV show stuff and movie stuff, and I had BDL on the cars. And,
nice.
And I took it all the way till the very end when BDL Industries died.
That's crazy.
So,
yeah.
And then I ended up with some random stuff. They just gave me a box of all the old stuff, so I still got some BDL stuff too.
Yeah.
But man, that STR stuff
STR
is,
though, that was it, man. That was a lot of start of the where intake manifold, wheelie bars, and all that thing was just
golden era.
Yeah, Ed and Ron was the first one to put that wheelie bar on. I remember going out to LACR.
You remember that showed up on the trailer? It was I think it showed up on a open trailer, right?
It's an open trailer. But we were trying every wheel as possible not to break and everything, because they keep on disintegrating.
Did you guys use skateboard wheels, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that what ended up working?
Yeah. So you put on the first one, everybody was laughing. I remember people laughing. Look at this. That was basically the first front wheel drive with the wheelie bar.
Right. Yeah.
When we brought out LECI, everybody was just laughing.
I remember that day. I was there.
Hell?
I remember that there.
And
I remember thinking, I was like, that's smart.
Yeah.
Because you're extending the wheelbase.
Exactly.
I was like, that's smart. I'm like, this thing's going to hook.
And you're keeping, the front down.
Yeah.
Now they have those things you put on the front end. And
straps.
After,
I was just talking to Driver B about this. I have I welded a bolt to my shock.
Yep.
And then I had another, I think it was a sleeve on the top that went all the way up to the top, and I can crank it down with a nut.
And so that it won't.
It wouldn't lift all the way
off
up.
The ground.
Yeah, because we couldn't get short body shocks then or any of that junk.
And what happened? They hit the 10s.
They hit the 10s.
They hit the 10s, and guess what? The next event,
they hit the 9s.
No.
Wait.
How many people showed up with wheelie bars?
Oh yeah. That's right. They
It
didn't
was
hit the 9s
crazy.
till they did that redo on it.
Yeah, they did the
hit
redo.
full redo with
But
the
yeah,
dragon and all
exactly.
that stuff. Yeah.
So, but yeah, they were like the following event. You just see a bunch of people with wheelie bars on
Everyone
the car.
shows up with wheelie bars.
Exactly. So that's where the wheelie bars kind of
Right.
took off, and
That's how it
you
went
know,
down.
Exactly.
Remember that?
One of those
Everybody was
first
trying to like look
times.
under your hood, and
Yeah.
you'd be like, you'd send somebody, you'd be like, go look under their car.
Exactly.
You'd be like,
You have to
look,
get a
trying to
spy.
see their suspension. You sent spies to the other camps. Yeah.
You know,
I remember that.
It's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
But it was those old days that, you know, like you couldn't relive that. It was like
Yeah.
pure, just like
Well, it was pioneering something that was it was a passion. It was like a passion-driven industry, and just the fact that we got to just be a part of that.
Yeah.
That it was in its purity, right?
It is.
It was in its innocence.
Yeah, it was
right?
like, you know, there was no big companies trying to control how things gonna go or where the car is gonna be. It's just you going on there on your own and you're
Right.
doing it. You know,
Yeah.
just like you do whatever you think is right for the car.
You do
know?
whatever you think, and you make it, and you try things, and you
process of
innovate.
elimination.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't
Either
like,
worked or it didn't.
It didn't exactly.
Yeah.
If it's not, oh shoot, okay, let's try
Yeah.
this one again. Well, it was good thinking, but you know, it's the
Right.
idea. What else can we do to kind of tweak it? You know,
Right. In its very infancy.
Yeah, even with the the motor builds, you know, people trying new things internally.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this sleeve, no, this sleeve is better, and
Yeah.
this block, oh no, try this piston, the dome one, or this one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all those formulas wasn't made at the time.
Right.
You know, it's all like people doing the try and error.
Right.
Like that's why the new era is like so lucky that they already have the formula.
Well, now you just spend the money.
You just spend the money. You could build a 10-second car like that.
I think the romance isn't there anymore.
No, it's
I think
definitely
that was the thing in the era, and that's what it's like. I really want to capture that romance.
yeah, the
And
love.
the love, right?
You know,
It was
the passion.
the passion.
You know what? The passion. Because you used to do it, stay up. You know, you have work the next day, but you're staying up
Still
till like
stay up
3,
till
4
sun
o'clock in
comes
the
up,
morning. I was
yeah.
like, shoot, I gotta work. But sorry, all right.
because you have to drive your car to work.
Exactly.
You have to get it done.
Exactly. You know, we can't afford 2 cars, 1 beater. You
No.
know, not nowadays. It's like, oh, I have my race car in the garage, and oh, I have my Nissan 240 as my daily driver. Or,
Yeah.
or I have
and
my,
I have
you
10
know,
other cars
I have my
because we're that
TS.
way.
Like, yeah, I got my Mercedes BM in the garage to drive every day. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't have that luxury. It's what my Civic was my daily driver. Get to work, get everywhere I
Yeah.
need to go. I didn't
Right.
have another car I go drive around. I
Yeah.
can't afford it.
Our race cars were our dailies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So-
that blue and white CRX was my daily. I
Yeah.
drove that thing in like LA traffic
Yeah, my EG
to Compton.
Yeah, my EG turbocharged was my daily driver.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, luckily I never got pulled over for having a B16 turbocharged motor. in my
Nah, but
car.
you got pulled over for like too low.
Oh,
and
I
you got pulled over for
oh,
like
come
no
on,
front
man.
plate. And you
That's-
pulled over
yeah.
for modified
Oh, come on.
exhaust.
I
and you
had
pulled-
I had a time where police pull you over and have their their baton and measuring how tall your
yeah.
light's off the ground.
yeah. Right.
You know, I had tickets in every city.
Every city. How many
No,
times you get pulled out of your car and
Alhambra,
searched? and-
Nogales, West Covina, Diamond Bar, you name
Right.
it. You name it, I had tickets.
And every time you got stopped was like a felony stop, huh?
Yeah, pretty
Like
much.
guns out and all
Exactly.
that stuff.
But
Like
then it ended up to be just like, because we pulled you over because your car's too low.
your car, we pulled you over because your car's too low.
But you had guns drawn. You know
guns
what I'm
drawn,
saying?
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But those are the things that we experienced back then that you kids don't have to experience these days. I mean, mind you, at the time, everywhere you looked, every stoplight, there's a lowered Honda.
now, not then. I feel like then it was if you saw another Honda driving down the road, you either knew who that car was or
Yes.
you flipped around and you tried to find out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
now
it was
yeah.
there was probably it was kind of rare
Mm-hmm.
to see that. I remember I met this girl Kelly. She had this black coupe and she was driving a Placentia, and I pulled up next to her to light and we raced. Right? And we raced and we just flew down. We're flying down like Bassenchury and like we ended up becoming friends. We pulled into the parking lot and
yeah,
talked,
chat,
and it
chat.
was like that because
There was a tight-knit community.
it was a tight knit community.
Yeah.
And if you found somebody crazy enough to fix up a Honda, they were immediately family.
Exactly.
Right.
It was a Honda family.
It was a Honda family.
Yeah, it wasn't,
Yeah.
now, later on the Nissans and stuff
Yeah,
came
yeah.
in and kind of
Whatever, but you know,
in those days Honda was the dominant.
Honda was the
everybody
thing,
had
right?
Honda.
Yeah.
You can't be cool and not have a Honda.
right.
If
That
you
was-
don't have a Honda, you're not cool.
you're not cool.
Yeah, you
Right.
have a Nissan. Oh, Nissan Sentra.
Yeah,
Well, come on,
remember
bro.
that?
Yeah.
Like 240s weren't cool.
No, it's a 240. Come on, bro. Step up. Get a Honda, man.
Step up and get a
I
Honda.
know. You know,
Right?
you're driving a rear-wheel drive. You're crazy.
You're just dumb.
Yeah.
Don't just front wheel drive the
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Honda
this is
was
the
just
way.
the cool
Yeah.
factor. Everybody dream of having a Honda Civic.
Right.
You know,
And that's
thing.
the car. What's funny is that's the car that a lot of people ended up with.
Yeah.
They wanted something else, but their parents like, no.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you the safe, reliable, economic car.
Exactly.
And that's what happened. Is like one Honda lined up against another Honda and got beat.
I mean, everybody in an era, I think, that's into the cars had a Honda at least one.
Yeah.
At least one Honda. There's no way.
I just picked up some knuckles today from a guy who obviously has a 240.
Yeah.
Because I'm building this 240 build it's on the channel. It's on another part, but. I was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll follow your thing. You doing a podcast, a buscast?" I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." And he's like, looked at it. He's like, "Oh shoot!" I was like, "I got a Honda in the back." He's like, "I gotta come show you.
Exactly.
You're the guy." He's like, "I gotta go, man. I'll come back." He's like, "Cool, come back."
Yeah.
It was awesome, but like that's so many people who got into drifting or got into other stuff. I talked to them,
but they still have a Honda,
They're like, "I had a Honda."
Yeah.
Yeah, even like Matt Van Kirk, who I crew chief for him for years. Yeah. He got into Hondas. He had an Integra, and then
I'm telling you.
And then Matt, was the other Matt one of the other Matts in Formula Drift. We were sitting there talking one night, and he had an Integra that he used to canyon race and street race.
I'm telling you. I mean, Honda was just ruled the streets in the 90s.
Yeah,
late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, just dominated. That brand dominated, and it's some of the best cars ever built.
Oh, it still is one of the best.
Yeah, but like that
built,
that like 90s golden era of Japanese cars.
It was the best.
It's just they're still out there running.
Yeah. I'm telling you, those era of car is untouchable. Yeah. I don't care what anybody say.
Honda, if you're listening, let's bring that back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's bring back cars that last for 40 years, 30 years. Let's bring back cars that last without issues for the most part for 30 years.
Even now, I still have one Honda.
What's your Honda?
And it's in London.
Yeah.
I have an EF.
You got an EF in London?
One EF that I, kind of fixing up here and there. Just a simple, lowered with Mugen wheels and stuff like that.
Simple, lowered with Mugen wheels.
I have a right-hand drive Honda Civic EF in London.
Yeah, EF9? Hatch or
it's
CRX?
Hatch.
Oh, yeah,
it's
cool.
Hatch. Yeah,
EF9.
Yeah.
SIR?
No. Right now, it's just the single cam carbureted.
Oh, wow.
But that's what it's available. It's hard to find
it's hard to find SIR anywhere.
Right. So if they want one, they want like $15,000 for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
which isn't too bad.
That. Yeah, because my plan is because they have a.
You're an EG guy. You're gonna get your EG.
Yeah, that too. But in Philippines.
In the Philippines.
Yeah, because that's my that's my end game, I think.
So I hear in the Philippines when they bring in cars from Japan, they have to convert them to left-hand drive.
Yes, all of them.
All of them.
All of them is converted from right to left hand.
Is there like a pile of like front clips of right-hand drive front clips?
It's not going to be a front clip. It's more just like
firewall or something.
Firewalls,
yeah.
But even that, they work with the stock firewall and they just work with it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and build their own dashboard.
Really? That's crazy.
Build their own dashboard, or
get them from the U.S. or something
they'll buy
like
it from So, but yeah, it is. I mean, all the cars there are a lot of them are from Japan, but they convert them.
Wow.
Yeah, those little high ace vans, minivans, all those. Yeah, they're all converted to left-hand drive.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So that's probably a pretty big business there for people who convert them.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, you remember Filipinos, could build a car with scrap.
Yeah.
The jeepneys are all from scrap. I mean, from not scrap, but from from nothing, from raw material.
I saw something. It was like a guy in the bushes building ghost guns in the Philippines. Like
exactly.
he was building these like cutting like shovel, and he would hammer it into like an AK and all this different stuff. It was pretty wild. They're very you guys are very innovative.
Yeah, it's you have to. You have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 2 cars there in Philippines.
Yeah.
When I left Cayman Islands 2 years ago,
right.
I went back last year. Actually, I haven't been back for 12 years. But before I got there, I actually bought a car, which is a 1974 Toyota Celica.
Yeah,
which
wow.
is a TA22 is chassis number, but yeah. So I did
Those are beautiful, yeah.
Full rebuild.
I saw some pictures. Can I get some pictures for the show? I can show them what's going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then I got a 83 Toyota Corona box type.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's in Philippines the old school is
but those are left-hand drive.
Left-hand drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the Philippines the old school guys it's the Toyotas.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but there is a big following for Hondas there.
Yeah.
Huge follower.
Yeah.
Shout out JDM Underground.
Yeah, what's up?
So
I want to go Philippines, man.
yeah, you have to.
My brother Craig is there. Like Craig's there, and he's a huge Honda guy.
Yeah.
He's got like this rad Honda collection, and
If he's a huge Honda guy, he'll know.
he's building the
JM
race.
Underground,
He's from here, but he moved to Philippines because he was just like, I can live in Philippines for like what I spend in 2 months here.
Where'd he
Sacramento.
come from?
He's from
Sacramento. Okay.
yeah.
No, there was another guy, Mike, that was from. He was a big Honda guy from East Coast.
From East Coast.
That
yeah.
moved to the Philippines also.
Yeah, he's back here. I'm hoping to get him on the show, but it'd be an
Okay.
interesting story.
Yeah,
Like he's got cool. He's got like a GTR. He's got a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
So but London, the car industry is not.
So
the
what
best
what
there.
happened? How'd you get to London? So you went what? So you left here. Or
I left
you met
in
your wife.
2010.
You met your wife in Cayman.
Yes,
Right?
That was early,
When you went
early
for-
2000.
When you went to took your car down there and showed it off.
Quinceañera celebration.
That's when you met her.
That's when I met her.
Okay.
And then went back to the U.S. and she ended up going to school,
Right.
Light University out of Irvine.
Okay. Cool.
So she kind of move and kind of like say, if something happens, it's cool, and
Right.
and then 2 kids later,
So
something happened.
something happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she went here and finished her master's and
Yeah.
got her doctorate degree.
Yeah.
And then 2008, 2009, the economy started dropping. That's when our car industry just went flat
Yeah.
and dead.
Yep.
Bunch of mom and pop shops shutting down.
Shutting down. Yeah.
So
I was on a sailboat in the middle of the ocean when it all went to
You
shit.
see?
Yeah.
And me, I was here. I had to live it. I had to live. What you were
Yeah.
so used to, and then it's like everything's just disappearing.
Everything.
Shops just disappearing here and there.
Everything changed.
I was
yeah.
like, everything changed within 2 years. From 2008, 2010, aftermarket industry's dead. The market's dead. Just
Yep.
economy just dropped. So
Yeah.
recession and stuff like that. So we decided let's try Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
So that's where it ended up. 2010 Cayman Islands.
Right.
And I hated it at first, and then got used to it because you could drive right-hand drive cars.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, Cayman Islands is right-hand drive car. It's a
Wow.
UK territory.
Oh yeah.
So we got right-hand drive cars, and
Anything cool?
oh man, and everything you can name. Skylines. They're all over the place. Civic right-hand drive Type R's.
What?
They got the most beautiful cars that's hidden. You won't see,
Right.
but it's there.
Wow.
But every right-hand drive car was there. Subaru.
Did you suddenly just find all the car people on the island?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, every car guy and Cayman Islands is a big car industry.
Yeah.
Everybody they love cars.
Right.
So it's part of their culture too. And it's a
Yeah.
small island, so it's a tight knit island. It's
Right.
you have 60 about. Now I'm maybe into the 70,000
That's
population.
small, yeah.
Very small.
Yeah.
You could drive from one end to another in about 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah. That's small.
It's just small. So it's like, I wasn't used to it because I was a big city.
You're
California.
You're
Cali
kid.
kid,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I promised, I even told my wife, I'm never moving to Cayman Islands, but that's where I ended up,
Right.
And, to be honest, I hated it for the first year.
Right. So how long were you in the Cayman Islands for?
From 2010 and then moved to London 2 years ago. So about 12
Okay.
years.
How do you like London?
I don't. It's a good place to probably visit, but yeah, it's not my cup of tea. It's just it doesn't have definitely don't have the California vibe.
Right.
It don't have the Cayman Island vibe.
Right.
It's harder to meet people
Okay.
that I could relate with, I guess.
Is there a car scene there?
There is, but very limited.
Okay.
There's one guy that throws a show. I think he just did one a couple weeks ago before I left London, but it's not as big as it was before. You don't see fixed-up cars on a daily basis. Not
Right.
like here. You'll see if you're driving
Yeah.
around, you'll see 1 or 2 or 3.
Land of the free. Huh?
Yeah, and then Cayman Islands, you'll see them wherever you go. You'll see a fix-up car.
And is that because regulation? Is that because they got a lot of rules?
in
and
London,
regulation?
there is rules and regulations within London, central
Right.
London. They have the it's what they're called ULEZ, ultra low emission zone.
Okay.
So if you fall in that zone and your car is not ULEZ or ultra low, you have to pay, I think it's £12. That's
Okay.
about $14-15
Right.
if you go into that. And if you want to go into
Oh.
central, which is the low emission zone, then you pay another pounds.
Oh, you paid.
So
to
you're
pollute.
about 20 plus just to go into London.
Wow.
So that's why I think where I'm at, because I'm in within London.
Right.
We don't have a lot of electric cars and low emission cars, Prius. All the Uber car there is
jeez.
our Prius.
Wow.
So yeah, I think outside of London there might be some, but
Yeah.
it's not a big thing where I'm at. So it's kind of hard, to
Damn.
meet another car guy because no one's really doing anything there.
Yeah.
So
They're like, check out my Tesla.
exactly,
Sick.
It's sick, man. I just put new batteries in this baby, man.
Double A's.
Exactly. So yeah, it's definitely not my cup of tea. Oh, sorry.
Right.
But
Not your cup of tea.
not cup of tea.
So, but your wife is she's a representative of
Cayman Islands
yeah.
in the UK.
It's kind of like an ambassador sort of
Yeah,
thing.
she's head of the office for Cayman Islands in London.
That's cool.
Well, for the whole UK,
Right.
but her office is in London. So I just pretty much had to go there for the ride.
Go there. Well, of course, you support.
Yeah, you gotta support it and
Yeah.
go with the flow.
So I met your son today.
Yes.
And his RSX with like Type R interior.
Yeah.
With some Inkei RPF ones on it.
Yes, the good parts.
That's got to be a proud thing for you.
Yes, didn't even know he was into that, and all of a sudden he's just like, I like Hondas, and then he made initiative to also try to track down my old car.
Yeah.
My EK.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What happened to that thing?
Basically, I got into with a company that I was working with, and they ended up making it some money trade and stuff like that for the car.
Was it Audio Bond? Was that when you?
No. It was at the time it was Premier Choice.
Okay.
It was a investment company.
Right.
But they were doing some stuff with Spoon.
Okay.
They had a Spoon S2000 and a Spoon RSX, and so we're making a deal with the trade with.
Do you know a couple of Spoon engines will pull a premium the week before Race Wars?
Oh, really?
Just
Yeah. So we were trying to do a little trade. They wanted a car to when they do shows as a thing, and at the time I was done with the Civic, and they offered me like a full Spoon Sierra RSX and stuff like that with work wheels and caliper, everything, and then some money, and after that I kind of left, and things didn't pan out for some reason, and then the car ended up getting stolen.
Oh, crazy!
So it was gone, and I couldn't get it back, and kind of
what?
So it disappeared, and then maybe I would say about 10 years later, it popped up in I want to say Inland Empire somewhere.
Was it still together? Was it still in one piece?
No, there was no rims. The body was all intact, no interior, no motor.
Right.
But the wide body kit was still there. The air suspension was there, but obviously not working.
Right.
No carbon fiber hood, but the actual chassis was still there.
Wow.
And then the guy who actually had it or bought it somehow got a hold of me and wanted to bring this out and take it to SEMA.
Yeah.
Just, reviving it somehow.
Yeah,
because he wants to rebuild it.
It's an era piece.
And I said, yeah, I'll help you out. If you want to do it serious, talk about it, I could call some of the people I might still know who might want to try to get into some kind of partial sponsorship to try to get to SEMA.
Right.
But then it kind of faded. He stopped messaging me and lost track of him and didn't know what happened, and I heard condolences to the family that he had passed away.
Oh, wow.
And didn't know what happened to the car at this point. And then my son now ended up looking for it and ended up finding it at a garage in Ontario somewhere at a shop, and he went to look at it, and so and the guy who was actually found the original rims for it.
Oh, jeez.
Which is the one from Daz. So I don't know where he found it, but he found it. And so when he sent me the picture, the car was put together and the rims was actually there. And then, soon after that, Chronicles came up with a, story with it. And he actually took it to a car show.
Okay.
Unveiling it, and it had the front bumper and, partially put together.
Right.
So, but I don't know. it's there.
Yeah,
So.
and that story's wrong. You said something. The story that he was telling about it is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of the stuff, like how the car disappeared, and it just, some of the, which I didn't want to, he already put this stuff there.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Story, and but the story is it got stolen a few times, and the guy ended up who had it was passed away. Whoever has it now bought a NSX, and it was just a kind of a package deal to get the car. And so he's like, buy this and you just take the Civic with you, and then he owns it now. It's in Ontario, and so we'll see if maybe one of these days I might have it again. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's some talk, right?
Yeah, there's some talk. So
Okay.
try to revive it somehow, and it is a piece. I mean, I know I could build another one just like it if I wanted to, but it's it's nothing like having the original chassis. And trying to bring it back. So my son, we were talking about my son. He does want to try to get this car off of this guy somehow still. So we're in talks, and my son really wants to. He wants to really rebuild it, just so because he never really knew how big LJ was in the car industry until he started seeing posts from, like the Chronicles, and then he started looking back and then he called me one time and say, "Dad, you're like famous back then, right? like you were like somebody in the car industry. You know that, right?" I said, "Well, I think so. Yeah, I could say that I think I made a little impact in the industry and things like that. It started off a few trends, maybe
little
here and there.
impact.
Yeah, and it was like, but dude, you're like big.
Yeah, man.
So he's like, I never knew that. It's just now that I getting into the car, seeing that, that I realized that you're
somebody.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like I looked at Googled you and your covers in magazines and what you've done, and they called you Godfather, and
Yeah, man.
and all this stuff. So it's like, that's crazy. I had a famous dad.
Yeah, he never Googled you, huh?
Yeah. So I think he just thought he knew I was in the car industry, but he didn't know how deep I was in the car industry.
Yeah, you were in deep, bro.
Yeah, until he started, he
Yeah.
got his RSX and trying to build his own car now.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
and
man.
so I told him, don't ask me how to build it. You build it
Right.
the way you want to build it.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to be. You don't care about what anybody else says. You build it the way you want to build it. How you imagine your car to be.
Yeah, but it'd probably mean more if you built it like with him, kind of.
Yeah. No, I told him I'll help you, but your idea just got to come out to how you want your car to look like.
Right.
Because if I build it, I'll build totally different than maybe how you're gonna build it.
Yeah.
I mean, even back then when people used to ask me, "Yo, how do I build a car? How to build a show car?" I said, "How do you want it to look like?
Right.
What do you want to get out of it? It's you. You have to build it."
Yeah.
I had that saying, it's not about following the crowd. It's about creating the path the crowd will follow.
Yeah. That's good advice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not about following the crowd. It's about creating the path the crowd would follow.
That's how you do it. That's how you
So
become a trendsetter.
That was my kind
That's
of.
how you become a speed trendsetter.
There you go.
Ah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So that's how that was my mentality was like,
Yeah.
don't follow the crowd, because you're just gonna be part of the crowd.
Yeah.
So you have to make a path that the crowd will follow.
Yeah. Same.
So that was kind of the
It's beautiful words, though. I feel this. I've done the same thing.
I mean, on all my resumes and proposals, that was my tagline.
Yeah, I like it.
So it's one thing I try to live by, and because if you're following, you're always gonna follow.
Right. I think a lot more of us did that back then.
Yeah.
Like the ones who are still the ones who I'm talking to, at least, are the
Yeah.
ones who did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why they made a mark in the industry, because
Yeah.
they didn't follow. They did their own
They
thing.
did their own thing. Yeah.
And created something they wanted.
Yeah.
So
Cool. I remember a couple funny stories with you at SEMA, and I know you remember the Max It Out video stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
That I did, and the characters and all the funny teeth. You remember my name of the character? In
No, I
Max It
don't
Out video. Do you remember my serious face was Mike Oxbig?
Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Had Mike
Yeah,
Oxbig.
Mike Oxbig. Yes,
Mike
I remember
Oxbig.
that. Yeah,
And I'd interview all the models and be like, hey, so just be like talking to them. I'd be like, so you know who I am, right? You know Mike Oxbig, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh yeah, I know you, I know.
But
And then there was the other character, which is Butch Spanky.
Spanky. Yep.
Remember the teeth?
Teeth? Yeah.
Butch
Okay.
Spanky,
Now
Spanky
it's coming
Butch,
back.
Captain
Now
Butch
it's coming
Spanky,
back.
Captain
Yes,
Spanky.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, driving my turbo Volvo. Didn't used to be turbo, but now it's turbo. My dad has Hyundai Scoop, you know what I mean? And we used to race, and I didn't have a turbo, then I had a turbo my Volvo, so now it's turbo Volvo. But that's what Butch Spanky rolls. Spanky Butch rolls. Captain Butch Spanky, Captain Spanky Butch. Call me Cap because I drive real fast. I drive real slow and low. No, real fast and real low.
Yeah,
so
no, that's funny. Yeah, I remember
I had this
that.
video magazine called Max Out Video, and I did it with Jose Martinez.
Yes.
Yeah. I talked to Jose a little bit. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing good. He's back east a little bit. He has a
Yeah,
car
I
dealership.
think I still have that a DVD of that.
Because we did
one. We did a short one with me.
the
somewhere.
interview and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So,
That's cool. I got to dig that up. Hopefully,
Yes.
I have them. They're tape. So
yours is
They're
a
on
tape.
tape.
Because,
it's old.
the olden days.
Olden days. VHS.
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember that. I remember fun accounts with you guys and like cruising around with the STR camp because STR was it was like a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, back then it was just like the ones they're waiting to see what.
There was
what
like
they're gonna
30
do
of
next.
us.
Yeah.
We would go everywhere, and I
Yep.
remember one of the funny stories was with. Do you remember? Oh shoot, what was his name? Man, Nguyen. What's his name? Is that Steve? Steve Nguyen? No.
No.
Dave.
Is that me?
No. He worked with you guys, and you guys covered him. We all covered him in you know those little pamphlets they hand out at on the strip.
Yeah.
Those little like call girl trading cards.
Oh yeah. You know what? Oh, what's his name?
And he passed out drunk in the condo because you'd rent the condo
Yes.
across the street from SEMA, right?
Oh shoot.
And he passed out drunk, and we put like those things all over the room, and
Oh,
and
gosh.
put like a bunch of like tissue paper and like lotion all over
Yeah.
his hand, and like called the service to clean the room.
Yeah.
And we're all looking out through the window because it was like a bottom story condo.
Yeah. No, that's all a blur to me, but yeah, I could imagine how funny it was. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, STR was like, yeah, we had some.
And there's another story, and I don't know if you want me to tell you, but it involves like tink, 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 tink on the sliding glass window outside. That's one of them. That's pretty good. Do you remember that one?
Remember that one?
Something about a. Oh wait, something. No,
So-
that was Tom.
That was Tom.
That was
Jung,
Tom
probably, because
with his-
Tom
with
Jung
his Prince in a
his
can.
Yes, that's him. That's different. That's a different.
No,
type.
and can we tell them what LJ stands for? Does everyone? Can we tell you what LJ stands
What's it stand for?
What?
What does it
Your
stand
name, LJ?
for?
Lord Jim.
Yeah, that's it.
Lord
man.
Jim, right?
Yep.
Lord Jim
That's it.
Garcia,
That's my-
right?
So anybody who calls me Lord Jim, I know it's like my OG friends.
OG friends,
'Cause
right?
they're the only one who knows.
Oh,
my
right.
real name.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
your test right now,
That's
huh?
it. Yeah, that was like no one knew that name.
No
That
one
was
knew
like,
that. That's family, right?
That's
Because you're family.
Yeah.
No, the one was like I think it was a girl who ran out of the room screaming, something like.
That's different.
a-
You know what that was? That was
Can we
Atco.
Did we tell that one?
That was Atco, New Jersey.
It was the.
I don't know if I can tell that one, but yeah, it was Atco Raceway, and she was like, oh,
And like ran.
And ran.
Yeah.
and I just like what I told you, and I just kind of like sat back on my chair, and everybody just laughed in the room. You can imagine how Tom laughs.
Oh, Tom
He
was
just rolling
on the ground.
Bergenholz just
Oh,
roll.
my
Everybody was
God.
in the room was just rolling, and I was like,
Hilarious.
it's crazy, but.
Yeah.
Those are the fun times that
It was so fun.
it's hard to bring back.
It's
you
hard to bring back, man. I get
And
some
I
of those
think-
on the drift teams.
know? Yeah.
Like with
but-
Jeff Jones and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so fun traveling. It
Yeah.
has that same vibe. And I think that's what I love so much about it is it
Yeah.
has that same original, like just the vibe of having fun and
Yeah.
traveling and working hard and
having the same goal and
Yeah.
just enjoying the industry. You know,
enjoying
what you're
the
doing.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah, because
And-
back then, you had, and you had a bunch of different race
Yeah.
coming together. Like
And
white,
nobody
and some
cared.
black,
And different
nobody cared.
gangs
Asian
coming together.
Asian gangs, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, coming together and they're all for the camp. I mean, that's what got me out of the gangs stuff
Right.
was, the car industry.
Right.
Uh,
But you were in were you in Precision with
no,
not
no,
Precision with
no.
what were you in with Miles, right?
Well, Miles Bautista. No, we were kind of in the same gang,
Same gang?
Filipino gang. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
right.
Yeah, but the car crew it wasn't. Yeah,
Wasn't the
it
same.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
Right.
the same. I had
Oh,
my
man.
my car, my show car team, Team Wisdom.
Team
yeah.
Wisdom, that's
Kind
right.
of dominated Hariport Nights for a bit.
Yeah, dominated.
Yeah, because every Wisdom car wasn't a covered import tuner.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys
back
killed
then.
it.
Yeah.
So would you say that cars got you out of gangs?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Because
Yeah.
I ended up wanting to spend more time on my car than going out and
Yeah.
gang banging and hanging out with
Right. That's kind of
bad
a
influence.
there's a lot because I mean, yeah, that's a pretty common thread in this.
Oh yeah, I mean you got to remember that the car industry and the gang was right in the center of this whole thing. While
Right.
the car industry was growing,
Right. Well,
the gangs was huge still
the
at the
scene
time.
was growing, yeah.
Yeah,
The
I mean
gangs
you
were
still
like,
at the time you still had drive-bys and
yeah.
Well,
LA was a war zone, man.
Yeah, L.A., Alhambra, Nogales, all that was it's like Asian gang,
It was a war zone, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what's like
We all carried. I carried. Did you carry?
No, I never carried. That's one thing I didn't.
I carried. I carried a little 380.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't really carry anything like that. Just
Right.
kind of, it was a time where gangs and cars was like a big thing.
I didn't bang,
Yeah.
but I rolled with. I mean, you know how it was.
Yeah. You
There was somebody shooting something like, and it wasn't like, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we would be at Selmar,
Yeah.
by Denny's.
Yeah.
Everybody parked there, and all of a sudden, someone's shooting there. But just get in the car and drive away.
Yeah.
But
Normal.
yeah, it's like normal thing back
But you
then.
just had respect. You just respected the other
Yeah.
people.
and it just move
'Cause-
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was the people coming in who didn't understand that level of respect that usually
No,
popped off and got
usually those
smacked
guys.
down.
Yeah, those guys weren't the car guys. They were actually looking for another gang.
I don't know,
you
man.
know,
I
I mean-
think there was a lot of I knew that a lot of the white kids would come to me
Yeah.
and get their cars fixed up because they couldn't go to shops and they'd get raped. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they would
yeah.
get
So
raped
he's
for their
saying,
money.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Because back then, when you see, a white guy, sorry, but it's easy money.
Yeah.
But
But I was like one of the only token white guys. Like
Yeah.
Tom was there too.
Yeah.
Tom was like a token white guy.
yeah.
And the few others, but it wasn't too many.
This one too many. No.
So I remember all the white guys would come in and they wanted to be in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I would fix their cars up and whatever, and then go out and street race. But I remember them. Sometimes I would just shake my head and be like, "You don't even know
No,
what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
shut the front door.
Mhm.
Like, you gotta you're gonna get in trouble. Like, you're gonna get shot.
Yeah.
And I remember pulling some aside and be like, "No, we're good. You keep it. You're like, no big deal. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. I mean,
Or like, just pay him. I'd be like, just pay him because
it's full ignorance. It just
Yeah.
didn't know how it worked, and
I used to always say, it's funny. I used to always say white kids killed the scene. Like I used to say it because after the white kids came in, it wasn't as pure,
no,
right?
yeah, that's true.
It was just
Well, the thing is they like to show off.
yeah,
So basically, some of this stuff is they just burn out of nowhere. They're taking off here and there, and they're out of control.
right.
it
was ego without the respect.
Exactly. So they didn't
Right.
know the rules of the thing. If someone's running, you park and you don't do anything.
Yeah,
But no, someone's coming down running, then they want to go pull off and
yeah.
move their cars, and it's one of those things that just didn't follow the rules of
Right.
of the streets.
Right.
But
And then
There
Fast
you
and
go.
Furious came out.
exactly.
What'd you
Yeah.
think of that?
It was awesome. Actually, I was contacted
Yeah,
by them to use my car, my Civic.
right,
Unfortunately, at the time, I was working for Audiomon,
right,
and I was actually in Korea, in China,
right.
taking care of a brand, Ichiban,
Ichiban, yeah,
at the time, which is working with Audubon at the time.
Yep.
So we came out with that product line, and so I was dealing with production and
yeah,
shipment and new products and stuff like that. So I had I called him and said, yeah, do it. And I think I had my friend Joe, which is in the movie. You'll see he has the green Honda Accord wagon.
Yeah, I know Joe.
Turbo Joe.
Yeah,
at the time. So he was supposed to take my car there,
Right.
and unload anything. I think something happened to the axle.
Yeah.
Never made it, but So happens that his car was there.
So happens, yeah.
So his car ended up taking
I
the
think
place
he
of my
drove it.
car.
I think he drove his, ended up driving his car. Or
Yeah.
something,
So and my car got left somewhere. I don't know. So he wouldn't drive for some reason.
yeah.
So, I don't know, but you know.
We're gonna sit down with Joe. We're gonna ask him. Remember to ask him that. Yeah.
But no, I don't know really what happened. But
Right.
yeah, but the car was supposed to be in one of the
Fast and-
racing scenes or one of the scenes that a main scene that they wanted to use the car on because
Right.
it was the Civic of
Yeah.
in
the
the era,
civic
that's
of the
Civic,
industry. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no way that wasn't gonna be in the show, you know. And
Yeah.
I was asked. I wanted the first one that was asked to kind of you were kind of trying to figure out if you wanted to, and I
Right.
said yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't in the country at the time,
Yeah.
or else I probably would have been more involved
Yeah. In the movie.
in the
right.
movie.
Right.
But you know, at the time, I have to make my money.
Gotta
and
make
that
your
was
money.
my job.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
the Fast and Furious thing wasn't my first priority. So
Yeah. That's a crazy story. I never knew that.
yeah,
Yeah.
my car was definitely supposed to be there.
Damn. That's
Yep.
wild.
Yeah, I was.
It was a wild
place.
shoot, man. It was a
Yeah.
wild shoot
Yeah,
on the
but
set. It
the
was so
first one
fun.
is the truest form of the Fast and the
Truest form,
Furious.
yeah.
You can't. The second, third, yeah, it's
Yeah.
blockbuster now.
So what,
It's,
and after, do you remember the scene after? Do you remember what changed after Fast and Furious came out?
what's that?
Did you ever go to the street races after that? I mean, you were pretty industry after that.
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
already industry, but
Yeah.
the street races were like different.
That's the point I kind of stopped going.
So people were lining up at angles. You know, all the stuff you're talking about that like people didn't do.
Mhm.
People were like lining up at angles, pulling out in front of cars.
Yeah.
It was an absolute shit show.
Disaster.
Yeah, it was a disaster.
So yeah, I think after that I didn't go to the meet. I was focused more on
You're focused on on being industry.
being the industry,
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
it was going the corporate level.
Part
kind
of being
thing,
responsible growing
You know?
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
start building stuff for like Haynes and
Yeah.
Scion.
Yeah.
Scion was when they launched it. When they were launching Scion, I built one of their first Scion car,
Yeah.
the XA.
XA, right.
I built a wide body XA.
I remember
on
that.
19s on air ride, full Sparko interior.
Yeah.
I was sponsored with Sparko. Even the door panels, everything was Sparko
With
material suede.
Yeah.
They supplied me the roll of it to do the interior and everything.
That's cool, man.
We're part of the talks on how to design the TC.
Right.
Like what kind of look would you what
Right.
would you put in?
TC was a cool car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Something happened to it where it didn't market out so well. Like it wasn't market right. Something happened.
Yeah.
But it's a cool car.
No,
but-
the consumers were changing,
Exactly.
right? So the generation was starting to have families,
Exactly.
and so they couldn't get down
So-
on a 2-door anymore.
No.
2-doors weren't selling as well.
No.
And
It was the turning almost the turning
It was
point
the
of
turning
the
point, yeah.
transition.
yeah.
I think. But if that TC came a little earlier,
Oh, it would have been. It would have hit hard.
just with
Yeah.
the top, and that's one of the things we were talking about to have. But TC was a cool car.
Yeah, TC was a cool car.
But
Chris Rado too. Chris Rado did a lot of things for that TC.
Yeah, exactly. So they were they're putting Toyota was putting a lot of money into
Wow, yeah.
marketing.
Those Scion parties
Yeah.
were like nothing else,
Oh,
man.
jeez, man, they were the best.
SEMA Scion party
That
was the place to
yeah,
be.
I was part of that. and,
Yeah.
I was in the center of that thing.
Yeah,
at the
man.
time.
I was. You were like, come in, VIP.
Yeah,
VIP.
exactly. That was like like I said, and then I did Haynes.
Yeah.
Build a few cars with Haynes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I was in their website.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty
like,
wild. But
Haynes,
that's
Haynes
that
is like
golden.
a big company.
Haynes is a big company. Yeah.
for a show guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I wasn't driving. I wasn't
Did you get lots?
breaking
Did
records.
you get
and-
like packs of underwear from Haynes?
Yeah, I got packs of underwear.
Like
some,
like a crate of
t-shirt.
of
I mean, a tank
underwear
top
would
and
show
stuff. I'm
up?
still wearing their tank top, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
you have
no, it
enough
was
to
a-
last the lifetime.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was well taken care of, man.
That's good, man. But yeah,
no,
that was the golden era of SEMA too.
Yeah, that was like
They don't party. They don't party like that anymore.
Oh no. I mean,
Man.
it's totally Hot Import Nights was back then was
Yeah.
it was
I still get to see Ryan Sage too at like
Yeah,
Formula
yeah.
Drift and Jim Law. And those
the
guys,
Hot
but-
Import Night era where you go to a convention center and the line is wrapped around
Yeah.
the whole building,
Yeah, right.
and then just to have this event and you have over about 20,000 or more people in one event and you get no fights rarely.
Yeah. People just wanted to be there.
that's the weird thing. Like, that's one of the things I point out back then.
Yeah.
It's like, when you could have that many people in one place,
And
kids,
and no drama.
and no drama,
Yeah.
and not have fights, and you don't have no one's shooting anybody, and no one's stabbing anybody. It's
Yeah.
it shows a lot that each person that go into that event, it respect each other.
I think I showed this off at Hot Import Nights. I think this was the first time I showed this was like a Hot Import Nights at like LA Convention Center.
Yeah.
I think that with the car hanging out the back and all
Nice.
that. The kind of the end of the.
Yeah.
They still run Hot Import Nights?
I don't think so. I think the last ones I heard of, they were doing a lot of the out of the country.
Okay.
I think they did a couple locally, but
Right.
I don't know how. I never really hear too much
Yeah.
about it, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're doing the
But-
show. I'm hosting the main stage at Jeff Jones's Hot Pit Auto Fest,
Okay.
and so they have the Speed Peeps show that happens there too. So it's starting to
Yeah.
like, kind of reminds me of the old days a little bit.
Yeah.
It's getting
so
there.
I'm hoping it swings back, around again, so that people could kind of relive what we lived, because it's an experience that it's euphoric, man. It's like the closeness of the industry.
Right.
It's like you go one city, 2 weeks later you go to another city, but you see the same people. So it became your road family, basically.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, on the road all the time, Well,
Right.
back then, you got back-to-back towns
Right.
you're traveling with. So, the guys from Hot Import Nights became like, Michael Menard and all those guys become your family on the road. 'Cause
Yeah.
you see them all the time.
Yeah.
And that was our job.
Yep.
So, and I was working for Audubon at the time, so I was touring
Right,
my car
right.
and, doing marketing
And the
for
booth and all
Audubon
that
and the
stuff,
booth
yeah.
and everything. So we'll be at, one weekend we'll be at Orlando.
Yeah.
Next weekend we'll be in Texas and
Jersey. and-
Jersey, and then we'll be in Seattle and
Yeah, yeah.
and
Chicago and-
Chicago. So there's a lot of history between the people that's touring.
Yeah.
So because we would go home maybe for a week and then gone again for another week.
Yeah.
But
I
it
got
was a
to
rough schedule.
I got to MC one of the Hot Import Nights in Tacoma
Yeah.
one year. Yeah, it was awesome.
But Hot Import is unreal. It was
Yeah.
just like girls, cars, and
yeah, music.
rave, and like I
Yeah.
said, it was crazy.
Yeah, man, that the golden era of things,
Yeah.
And I wonder. I like to think, right? Because we always want to bring back that golden that shine.
Yeah,
you know. But I think I think part of it is telling the story.
Yeah.
Right, is going to remind people of how the way we did stuff, and I think at some point people are going to adhere to that with like retro builds and the way people are doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's about information, and I think it's about being involved in the scene and the industry and contributing back to it.
Yeah.
Like the story is, well, I'm contributing back with your story.
Well, just like what you're doing now,
Yeah.
and that's why when you kind of we got in touch with each other, I was like, yeah, you know what, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I get to tell some part of my story
Yeah,
that maybe people didn't know about and things like that. So
yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
Definitely, it's gonna be a big contribution to the industry, especially because newcomers, they don't know the full
Yeah.
story of
your own son didn't even know the full
No,
story.
exactly.
And that's wild, and that just shows like
Uh-huh.
how much time has gone by.
Exactly. I mean,
It's been 20 years,
it is.
or
It has
more than we've known each other for 25 years.
It's
yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Philippines last year,
Yeah.
I said Jenny Managran had a car show,
Okay.
and they had invited me to come, and the guys that throws it, they're all veterans.
Yeah.
They were my era, so they know they showed their roots. Like, yo,
Yeah.
LJ Garcia, yeah, and he used to build this car, and you could see in the crowd the young guys like looking like, who the hell
Yeah.
is this guy? And then you see a guy that might know me. It's like, oh yeah, it's LJ.
Yeah.
But then most of them, they don't know who the pioneers of the industry is.
right.
And I think you doing this interview will shed light, and they could now kind of put the name and what the name did
Right.
for the industry.
Totally.
Because some people know, I know Miles, but Miles from just Rev Hard sometimes.
Or
but-
Miles. Yeah, from drag racing.
Drag
but He's
racing,
done. He's done a lot more.
But he did a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So this is a chance for everybody to kind of tell their
Yeah.
story, and this, I think this is awesome, man.
yeah, man. Because I feel like what's funny is a lot of people will hit me up and be like, "Dude, you're the this or you're the that,"
Uh-huh.
and I never felt that way.
Yeah.
Like, I never felt like a big deal. I just felt like I love cars.
And, that's how I always felt,
I love cars, and if you love cars, we're friends.
Exactly.
And I never felt like I was above anyone else or anything
That's
like that.
how I always, that's how I built my car. But, I just got lucky. I built a nice car.
I built a nice car. I put the work in.
Exactly.
I innovated. I thought it my own way, and people happen to like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, same thing. I did my thing, and people happen to like it.
Exactly. Like people were like back then, tripping out. I put a TV and a camera in my engine bay.
Yeah.
Who's stupid enough to do that? LJ was.
LJ was.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things.
But it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I even had put, back then, because like I said, I was working for Audubon. So I was able to go to Taiwan electronics shows and stuff like that. And I was able to buy a little camera, wireless camera at the time.
Yeah, wow.
Which wasn't
unheard of, right?
And I had it, RC car. I put it on top, and on my car, you could see, my RC car going around with the camera and then driving the RC car on my
the TV
screen
inside your
on my
thing.
on my
That's
car.
wild.
And I had a back then the PS1.
It wasn't even a PS1.
No,
it was a PS PlayStation
with a CD. I had it in the back seat with a clear, the clear cover.
Yeah.
That was hot back then.
That was stuff people weren't doing. Yeah.
Exactly. I would put racing seats in the back, 4 racing seats on the car.
Yeah.
Are you stupid or what? But it's the things that I
haven't
seen.
You got to level up.
Exactly. So it's one of those things. Just like, what haven't I seen?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. If it's stupid, it's stupid. So what?
That's how I felt about my bus.
But you know what?
No one's never seen it, so I'm gonna do it.
But for me, it's like the 10 people who think it's stupid. That's gonna be 100 that likes it.
Yeah.
I don't
care.
Haters
gonna hate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, not everybody gonna like your style, but
I feel like haters are ambition fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
You want to hate? I'm just gonna push a little harder.
Exactly. That's the way I was.
Yeah. Good. Keep hating.
Yeah, and I hated though. I love
You're
it
hating for a reason.
I love it when a lot of the haters back then was with the guys that went to Harvard Price with those nice cars, RX-7, Supra.
Oh yeah.
And then I come in with my Honda
and
Civic.
then they'd lose.
They come in with my Honda Civic, and win Best of Show. And then you could, I knew everybody in Hartford Night, so afterwards, this guy said, how the hell did that,
This
Honda
guy's
Civic beat my
pissed.
Supra with $50,000 worth of upgrades with this,
because your
special
Supra's
rims
like
and-
standard that you can
then,
buy.
Exactly, but then there's list of stuff that you need to cover when you're building a show car.
You would beat
You need
Craig Lieberman.
undercarriage.
You would beat Craig Lieberman, right?
I didn't say nothing.
Wait, are we talking about Craig Lieberman was the one?
But anyways, you have to have audio.
Oh, I'm not the biggest fan of Craig Lieberman anyways.
Yeah, but
He talks crap on me, and that's
oh,
okay.
yeah, well,
He's a hater.
Yeah,
he hates on me.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
but
He's
it
ambition
is what
fuel.
it is. He is, but it is what it is.
We're sidestepping it apparently, huh?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why? Why? Who
but
cares,
yeah.
man?
But yeah, there's certain you got to earn 5 points for audio. You got to earn undercarriage. You got there's a system when you're judging a car. So how are you gonna win if you have one thing or two things that's good, but you don't have the other 3 things that you're supposed to have? You don't have car audio. You don't have undercarriage, chrome undercarriage. You don't have, it's basically when I look at a Supra.
I'm so happy you always beat Craig Lieberman. That's awesome.
So, yes, he was really pissed actually. I remember that was Long Beach Huntingport days.
Yeah.
It was an outside event.
Yep.
He brought out his car. It was just, I think he painted yellow.
Yeah. Supra.
Yeah.
And lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a
Civic.
$10,000 Civic, I think it was at the time. But yeah, no, it's one of those things, It's just it's a good experience. Definitely.
I got stories of Lieberman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was supposed to be in the second or third one,
Mhm.
and I had some right-hand drive cars, and he was like talking crap to the picture car coordinator
Well,
about me, and then he didn't know that if you put reply all on the email,
everybody sees
it goes to me.
Yeah,
so I
sees
saw
it.
the email of him talking crap, and I
Aw.
just let him talk, and
That's crazy.
I just wrote, "Hey Craig, if you put reply to all, I'll see it." And it just went silent.
Yeah.
And then I worked for D1
Yeah.
Grand Prix when they did the first event
Yeah.
at Irwindale, and I saw him walking in the gate, and I was like walking toward the gate, and he turned around and walked back out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man,
But those guys are the pioneers.
he's not a pioneer.
I'm saying.
Right.
They
no,
are.
that's why I'm not sitting with him talking to him. I'm
So-
sitting talking to you. Because he's not a pioneer. He came later.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
He's an older dude who never street raced
Yeah, no.
in his life.
He had
and
money.
He had money and he came
So,
later. So he's not really. That's cool. He got a position doing what he did, but
Yeah.
he's not the true. He's not the truth, and he doesn't know the truth.
No. You wouldn't know unless you were there.
He wouldn't know unless
Yeah.
I was standing next to him, right,
Yeah.
telling him how to. And then it's funny because they were showing a video, their camera shot of the eclipse in the movie. They had a high angle, and the only thing I ever said, because there were so many things I wanted to say, but I was like, this car's not turbo.
Yep.
And you're doing like an overhead shot talking about this being a turbo engine. A lot of people are gonna know that. That's the only thing I ever said to the director, and he's just like, "Oh, okay." And he kind of like looked over, and like Greg was kind of like, and then they changed it. They didn't put it. They didn't. They changed the camera angle and all that. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
But like I said, we gonna have those. You're
always gonna have those.
But
yeah.
people who was there know the truth. So,
Yeah, you're always gonna have the people who want to be in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
and that's okay.
and me, I'm the you know me.
I know you.
I'm the type, the quiet guy.
You know the flavor of the Kool-Aid.
I just know, and that's all I have to know. If they want to say stuff about me,
Did you just say you're quiet?
I'm okay, man.
Did you just say you're the quiet?
I'm
guy?
quiet. No, I'm quiet about when people
Oh yeah.
try to
Yeah.
talk about me or anything. That's not me. That's whatever, man. I could care less.
Well, I think
You
your
know.
accolades and those, those 275 trophies that are those 6 foot 200.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
6 feet and there's 275 of them, and they're out there somewhere.
Yeah. But
So if you have LJ's trophies,
Bring it
hit
back.
me up. Bring them back. He'd probably like to have some of those.
Yeah.
They're about this tall, and they're about this big, and they're.
and it says Hot Import Nights
It
on
says
it.
Hot Import Nights, best to
Best
show
to
all
show.
over them.
Or Best Honda.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, I never had. I was pretty. From my thinking, is I was well liked in the industry.
You were. I liked you a
and
lot.
I didn't like.
As long as I liked you, that's all that mattered.
That's
if
it.
I liked you, everybody liked you.
There you go.
I was the gatekeeper
There
of the
you go.
industry.
So I mean, yeah. I just I love life too much, man.
Yeah.
I'm carefree. I just go with the flow.
Yeah, man.
So.
Well, I appreciate you coming, man.
Oh no, I mean, I
appreciate you
it's such an honor.
flying in from England.
Yes.
From London, England, to sit
Just to
down with
see
me
you, man.
on this bus and do this bus cast.
For sure, and then we talked and said this one thing I couldn't pass on.
Yeah, man. This is history right here.
It is.
Yeah, and this is how I honor you.
Yes.
As a friend, as a brother in the industry,
and I appreciate that.
and this is how I honor you, man.
Yes,
And this is
yes.
how I honor my industry that raised me. And so this is why I'm going to keep going with
and
this.
I think I mean all of us, you, me, this industry definitely, made who we are today.
Yeah, it made me
I mean, without this industry, we wouldn't be where we're sitting right now.
on the Pepper the school bus.
It's Pepper the school bus, and without the industry, I wouldn't be here with you.
Exactly.
Because you wouldn't have this.
I wouldn't have this, right?
So
Yeah.
this would have never existed.
Right, and I'm
without the
grateful. I'm
industry.
grateful for all of it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, even my friends in Philippines,
Yeah.
I would never had that. They would have known me all the way U.S. and then car guys in the Philippines know
Yeah.
who I am.
Exactly.
But it's the car industry, like totally. This is what molded my life.
Yeah, man. And I'm
and
grateful
still
for
molding
that.
my
And
life.
still molding your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I always gotta have car. I always gotta be building cars.
Yeah.
It might not be the top caliber, whatever, show car, everything, but
Oh,
it's something I love to do.
shit. It will be.
So
It will be. You can't shake that.
yeah. I mean, the quality is
Once
always
you get
gotta
back
be
to
there.
the Philippines, I cannot wait to see what you come up
I
with.
mean, the quality still gotta be there, but
Yeah.
it's
it's just matured.
it's just it's
Yeah,
I'm
it's
built
matured.
myself. It's a stock motor, just rebuilt a cruiser with air AC.
See, if I'm-
Before we didn't care about
right,
AC.
It's gonna
you
be
know.
a monster.
No, well, they have a little bit of something, but yeah. But no,
Well,
I truly appreciate getting invited to your show, and I think you're doing an awesome thing for the industry.
Oh, I
and,
appreciate
and,
hearing
and
that.
carry on, and telling the story and the legacy of
It's
what was
legacy.
forgotten.
It's legacy, man. Yeah.
It is, and it has been forgotten, and
Yeah.
so I appreciate that, and me myself will be following and excited to see who
I
else is gonna be
appreciate that. Yeah.
in the show, and I'll
I
be
ain't
here
stopping.
to support you, and if I could do anything
Yeah, brother.
from Philippines or London, let me know.
Yeah.
If you happen to be in London and someone there you want to interview,
I'm gonna get this thing
Just
on
hit me
a
up.
freighter and get
There
over
you
there.
go, man.
Drive around London.
Eh,
This thing wouldn't fit on the narrow streets in London.
Sorry.
Would I be able to get into the
No,
center?
I think so because they have a lot of public bus transport.
I'd have to pay a lot to get to the low emission zone.
Yeah. You'll be broke. You'll be broke. So you're better off just taking all your equipment and taking the tube.
Taking the tube.
Public transportation.
Well, hell no.
Yeah.
Well, let's do some words of wisdom, or let's do like if you can tell the younger you, right, some advice.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's like a bunch of younger yous out there.
Yeah.
If you can go back in time and tell the younger you a piece of advice, what would you tell them? What would you tell yourself?
I think like I said, I came with one motto, never follow.
Right.
Try to lead.
Right.
And if you have, an idea of how your car should look like, just a painter or someone creating, a painting.
Yeah.
They're going after what they, think is beautiful, and then they paint it.
Right.
So if you want to build a car and you want to do something that you like, don't try to be, the creators didn't go and look at, what's he doing over there? What's he painting over there? No, they went and put themselves in a room and start, whatever's in their head, they put in the canvas.
Yeah.
And so basically when you're building something for yourself or building a car, whatever makes you happy.
Right.
No matter what anybody else says, who cares what anybody says? It's you. It's your car. You're paying for it. You're the one coming. You paint. You're painting the way you want to paint it.
Right.
So I say it's like just always build something that's gonna motivate you to build, continue to build for yourself.
Right.
Because basically, if you're copying something, you're building for someone else,
Yeah.
not yourself.
Yeah.
So have your own ideas. Come up with something new.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the next big thing that you don't know about, but never afraid to try something new.
Right.
So yeah, try something new all the time.
Well, that's some really good advice. That's That's like be authentic.
No, be original.
Yeah, be original. Be authentic. Be original.
Yeah. No one got famous following someone else.
Right. Yeah, I like that. You gotta be bold. You gotta be a little brave.
You gotta take risks.
It's terrifying too because you never know how it's gonna come out or how it's gonna be perceived.
But just like any painting,
right? Any painter.
And the painter that painted a drawing, they didn't know who
no
knew
one
Mona
knows.
Lisa was gonna be
Right.
a drawing of a woman.
I guess that's the problem that I see in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
People are too safe.
Yep.
They build these cars and they're safe.
Yep.
They build what they know is going to be perceived.
It's gonna be
They build
work
what knows going to work,
Mhm.
and people are going to like it. And it's going to get so many likes and whatever.
So
And they're building for their followers,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But like
someone's got to step up.
someone's got to step up the game and do something weird and cool.
Off the box kind of thing,
Yeah.
off the wall, man. Just
Yeah,
kind of
I love
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
It's especially nowadays, I mean, what it is right now. These people are waiting for something new.
I got it. Yeah.
That's why everything is. I'm telling you, right now, that's why everything's plateaued
Oh yeah.
because no one's doing something different.
I felt like this.
I think.
I felt like this bus build, and I didn't show you the engine bay, but you're
Yeah.
gonna be. It's dirty right now, but you're gonna be really impressed.
Mhm.
But I haven't really popped it for too many people, and I haven't even posted it.
Yeah.
It's a 5.5 year build under that engine bay, and it's over 10,000 hours
Wow.
into it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got done with it, and I was just like, and
Relief.
it was the first thing that I think I'd built everything for me.
Yeah.
But it was the one thing that I built that I didn't need. I didn't need anyone to acknowledge it. I didn't need.
It was self-satisfaction.
It was self-satisfaction. It was something that couldn't be done that I did,
Mm-hmm.
and I just took a breath of fresh air afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was just, and I'll post it. I've filmed it and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, that's been 2 years, man.
But it's something you built for yourself. Something
I
different.
built for myself, and it was different.
And you know what? One day this thing was gonna be worth a lot. You didn't even know
I didn't even know
because it's something that was different.
something that was different. Yeah, it's not even about that.
Yeah. I mean, some of those stuff, wasn't, that was so different that they didn't want to put out because they're too embarrassed to bring out. And then whoever created it passed away, and then all of a sudden, shoot.
Yeah, look at this
That's a
amazing work
beautiful
of
thing.
art. Yeah, it's
And
art
then-
to me, man.
Yeah.
It's art to you.
Yep. But
Yeah.
someone hid it because they were embarrassed to bring it out
Yeah,
because
'cause
it
that's
wasn't
a- that's-
proper. It wasn't.
That's
You
what
know.
it is being an artist, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So bring out your paintings,
it
guys.
All right, so we got a table right here. I'll have you sign that. There's two
Awesome.
markers right there.
Yeah.
There's some greats on there. Driver B, we got Chris Eimer, we got
Oh, I gotta be a part of this.
Yeah,
Get a part of this,
you can be
famous
a,
people.
You can be a part of this. You can sign next to Tony Hawk or whoever you want to.
I'm just gonna go right here. There we go. Cool.
Did that work?
Oh yeah, it's there.
Cool. Beautiful. Well, cool, brother. I appreciate you sitting down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is another episode of Burning Tires. It is a Buscast. I'm your host, Greg Leone, and we have the wonderful, impressive, amazing LJ Garcia on the show. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate all you've done for this industry, and I appreciate just you being a friend and a homie, and I can share so many cool memories with you and cool adventures with you. So
Thank you for having me, and see you again.
thanks, brother.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Woo.
All right.
That was a good one, man.
Good, man.
Woo. And we are out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. See you guys next time.